Resting in God's Rhythm by B. Today's scripture is Ecclesiastes 3:1-15. Let's be honest, we live in a culture obsessed with control. We have apps to track our schedules, hacks to optimize our productivity, and plans to secure our futures. But despite all our planning, life has a funny way of throwing us off track. We face unexpected loss, sudden delays, and long seasons of waiting that leave us feeling anxious and overwhelmed. In Ecclesiastes 3:1-15, the teacher, Kohelet, steps in to break down our illusion of control. He delivers a profound theological truth dressed in timeless poetry, challenging us to step off our self-made treadmills and rest in the perfect rhythm of a sovereign God. Here are 3 powerful lessons from this passage on how we can navigate the unpredictable seasons of life. 1. Accept the season you are in. The chapter opens with one of the most famous poems in history. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. The teacher lists 14 pairs of opposites, ranging from a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. Verse 2. All the way to a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time for war and a time for peace. Verse 4. In Hebrew style, this massive list represents the totality of human experience. But if you look closely at the language, a striking exegesis reveals that majority of these events are entirely beyond human control. You didn't choose when you were born, and you can't stop the storm from coming. The hermeneutical truth here is that life is full of seasons, and we do not get to dictate when they change. Sometimes we prolong our pain because we are desperately trying to force a season of dancing, when God has currently placed us in a season of mourning. True peace begins when we stop resisting our reality and ask, Lord, what are you trying to teach me in this specific season? Rather than constantly asking, when will this season end?
2. Trade your anxiety for holy awe. In Ecclesiastes 3:11, we hit the absolute climax of the chapter. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, He has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. This is the ultimate human dilemma. God wired us with eternity, olam, in our hearts, meaning we are the only creatures on earth who can conceptualize the big picture, worry about tomorrow, and desire to know how the whole story ends. Yet, in His sovereign wisdom, God intentionally limited our finite minds from seeing the full roadmap. This gap between our desire to know and our inability to see creates deep existential tension. We get anxious because we are trying to play God, trying to micromanage our futures. But the teacher tells us in verse 14 why God engineered life to be so mysterious. I perceived that whatever God does endures forever. God has done it so that people should fear before Him. That word fear, yareh, means holy awe and reverence. God keeps the future hidden so that we are forced to depend on Him daily. When we can't see the design, we are invited to simply trust the heart of the designer. 3. Receive the present as a sovereign gift. Because we can't control the timeline and we can't map out eternity, how should we live? The teacher doesn't tell us to give up in despair. Instead, he offers a beautifully grounded conclusion in verses 12-14. I perceived that there is nothing better for them than to be joyful and to do good as long as they live. Also, that everyone should eat and drink and take pleasure in all his toil. This is God's gift to man. This is not a green light for reckless worldly living. In its original Hebrew context, this is a call to mindful gratitude. True spirituality is the ability to show up to your present life, find satisfaction in a hard day's work, and enjoy a simple meal with family without being paralyzed by the what-ifs of tomorrow.
every normal, ordinary, and small blessing is a direct gift from God, Matat Elohim. When we stop overthinking the future, we finally unlock the ability to be fully present in the blessings God has placed right in front of us today. Reflection and application. Anong area ng buhay mo ngayon ang pilit mo pa rin kinokontrol, mina-micromanage o ina-anxious? Look at your current situation through the lens of Ecclesiastes 3. If you are in a painful season, remember that it is just a season. It will not last forever because God holds the clock. If you are in a good season, enjoy it with a grateful heart without worrying about when the next shoe will drop. Let go of your need to know the whole roadmap. Surrender your control issues at the feet of Jesus and find rest knowing that the God who rules eternity is holding your today.